It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegu don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu the political, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, see them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Mayegu don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu the political, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegu, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegu diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegu don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu the political, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegu don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there.
Mayegu la wa mo to do. Mayegu la wa mo to do. Ọ̀rẹ́ ara lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube, lówó ṣe ń lọ ní Mayegu dá wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Maybe good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegu. Apologies for the late start, by the way. Thank you so much for joining me as usual. Read the caption of this broadcast, the description of the broadcast, like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell all of them that it is brunch time with Mayegu. So Mayegun today.
Lórí Facebook. And yes,
You know, the brunch time with Mayegun is like the snippets to what is still probably to come later tonight. So please hear this broadcast. Tell your friends, not so friendly friends. Tell them that we Mayegun today. Nigeria is a place where the foreign investors have been avoiding like a scotch. In the last 17 months of Thiefnubu and his 48 thieves, rogues, criminals, they have only been able to attract $29 million investment to the giant of Africa, where Rwanda is very smaller country, has attracted more than $6 billion worth of investment under the same period. Thank you. So, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun. And if you have read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, you should by now have an idea what we will be talking about this hour. It is Werey Wike again, and people like him. Nigeria is a place that you can call a lawless place. And since APC, Egbekegbe, took over power in that country or contraption, they have turned the law on its head. It is more or less like worse than a jungle, because in the jungle, animals will never make the weakest of them to lead them. It is impossible. Therefore, it is only a banana republic where you have rogues that should be in prison are the ones making laws, interpreting or executing the law, and the people are to suffer for it. That has been the fate of Nigeria in the hands of these criminals. Werey Wike has been accused of land grabbing in Abuja repeatedly. The most famous of them all before now was the land he took from a businessman in Abuja. Because according to Werey Wike, how did an Igbo man manage to acquire this much land? If it is not by corruption, it must be by other shady means. Therefore, he wasn't interested in all of the papers. You know, normally in Nigeria, when government issue you paper, I'm talking about documents to certify that your land is approved by government. That is the document you can take anywhere, okay? But not in Nigeria anymore. Nigeria of Thiefnubu and his gang is a Nigeria of criminals of all kinds. So you can be holding a government document, no matter how original it is. The likes of Werey Wike and his gang, they will, they will turn it into an illegitimate document because they are the government, man. You see, if you hold something, it was supposed to kind of outlive every kind of government. You know, it doesn't matter which government issued that document, as long as it says issued by the federal government or state government or that government, it becomes legally binding. And if it is going to change, there should be a legal, pronouncement, like a court. A court can pronounce and say, this document is fake. That is not what you have in Nigeria. Last weekend, Werey Wike, after his meltdown in Rivers State, was back in Abuja. Remember, for those who are not really much familiar with their game, let me give you a background. in Nigeria, and then you say, you know, when you follow the political journey of Thiefnubu, the political journey of Werey Wike, they are so similar in kind and in act. When Thiefnubu was the governor of Lagos State, he did something. Thiefnubu would take people's land with the promise that he is taking the land for development, only for Thiefnubu to either reallocate the land to who? To judges. A lot of people didn't know at the time that the judiciary, that the cancer, the cancerous tumor, corruption that has now eaten so deep all over, I mean, the judiciary all over Nigeria today, actually has his foothold in Lagos. Back then, Thiefnubu would not only just influence the emergence of judges, even outside his jurisdiction in Lagos, but he ensured that he will become judges in Lagos. We're supposed to be at his fingertip. And how did he do that? Thiefnubu would take people's lands, reallocate such land to judges. For example, a judge that is being paid 50,000 naira salary, 100,000 naira salary, would have a plot or 2 or 3 or 4 plots of land in Lekki or in these choice expensive areas of Lagos, because they are gifts. They are gifts given to them by Thiefnubu. And also, Thiefnubu will build houses and just gifted them to judges in a way that they will always remember that they owe him. They always owed the landlord of Lagos. And so many people who have become victims of this, so many families, and many family lands who have been like taken in Lagos. Today, some of those lands were resold by those judges. Some of them they actually resold the land to make quick bucks because Thiefnubu gave it to them as gifts. And then you will get to see all the judgments that are always mostly in his favor. Before Nigeria could understand what was going on, Thiefnubu has already had his way. Judges, some of them were even like given appointments in his government. I'm talking about appointments like, give me your son. Oh, did you say your son just graduated? Oh, did you say your son wants to go to school in America? I can work that out. And this was, this is how so many judges in Lagos became indebted to Thiefnubu, and he will always get a favorable judgment from them. Any of the judges that that tried not to follow Thiefnubu's dictates, in any case, they will burn down the court. He did that many times. Similarly, Werey Wike in Rivers State is famous for collecting people's lands, especially lands allocated to people, markets, groups and all that, by government, by his own predecessors, the government before him. Werey Wike will take their lands, right, and then he will reallocate them to judges, to police commissioners, whoever is ready to play balls in Rivers State. And at a point, it was building mansions, like it was building judges that all over Rivers State. All of this kind of made the judges in Rivers State as well indebted to him. Politicians have been doing this also across Nigeria. But you see, these two, they have always been famous. So they've been famous for land grabbing, taking people's lands, and all that. So last weekend, Werey Wike was in his elements, right? Where he publicly bragged that he invited the Julius Berger. You know, Julius Berger has been part of Nigeria construction, this and that, for decades, right? So Werey Wike said he was looking around and he asked people that who owns this land? And they said, oh, that's Julius Berger. This one is owned by this. That one is owned by that. I was like, how did Julius Berger get this land allocated to them in Abuja, in this area? Well, we are taking it because we need to build houses for judges in Abuja. Because to them, right, the judiciary, if you really want to control the levels of power in this their own type of democracy, you need to take over the police, take over the military, make sure you control the INEC, they're supposed to conduct elections, and then take over the judges, the courts. If you can get hold of all that, your political opponents, they can go and try whatever they want to try. Okay? It will all end in your favor. But Nigeria is a place that is looking for, what do you call it? Looking for investors, okay? And no investor will go to a country where you can wake up tomorrow and a politician, by a pronouncement, will take over your business. They've had businesses of people that have been aggressively taken over as well. Some have to like quickly sell off whatever they could sell, cut their losses, and left Nigeria. So the likes of Werey Wike publicly bragged about this. And then the supposed criminal chief justice of Nigeria, that woman, immediately, remember that Werey Wike got an approval, about 1 trillion naira or so, to build judges' quarters, to build 40 houses for judges, which will cost Nigeria about 1 trillion or 1.2 trillion naira. It is all ahead of the 2027, you will say. So you took the land that belongs to a business to go and construct judges' quarters, and then you publicly bragged about that to the point that the rest of the world is watching. Here is that clip of his brag.
When we were looking for where we get such a land to build, and I was driving around looking for empty land, and I got here, I saw this big land. I saw the big post, Julius Berger. So I didn't talk. I called the director of lands. Who was that land? They said Julius Berger. When was it allocated? They said about 15, 20 years ago. 15, 20 years ago, nothing has been done. I didn't bother. So I invited the MD Julius Berger to come. He came and we had dinner. I didn't talk about the land. So the next day, he was in the office and he saw the revocation letter as a matter of public.
You get that? There's actually a report on it, right? I was driving around. I saw this big land. And I said, who is the owner of this? I saw Julius Berger on it. I said, when was it allocated? He said 15, 20 years ago. And they've not done anything on it. He then went on to revoke it. Like, if somebody got allocated land and they paid for their land and they got all the documents signed and delivered, a politician that is, roaming about. Yesterday, somebody said that maybe they are just taking people's lands or something. Sorry, yeah. That very soon they will be moving into your houses. They will be kicking you out of your houses and say, you know what? You are not using this place very well, so we are taking over your house. Watch this. From a proper republic, this is where you're going to see others, so including the Chief Justice, so people who are supposed to uphold the law.
Originally belongs to Julius Berger for the purpose of these projects.
When we were looking for where we get such a land to build, and I was driving around looking for empty land, and I got here, I saw this big land. I saw the big post, Julius Berger. So I didn't talk. I called the director of lands. Who was that land? They said Julius Berger. When was it allocated? They said about 15, 20 years ago. 15, 20 years ago, nothing has been done. I didn't bother. So I invited the MD Julius Berger to come. He came and we had dinner. I didn't talk about the land. So the next day, he was in the office and he saw the revocation letter as a matter of public interest. Mr. President has approved for all the judges in the FCT to have their house owner occupier.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, flags off the project. She says housing is a critical component beyond the courtroom.
Beyond the courtroom, a supportive and conducive living environment is essential to their ability to focus on the heavy responsibilities entrusted to them.
As we embark on this journey of construction, let us work together to create a space that reflects our values and commitment to justice.
These projects target not less than 1,000 direct and indirect jobs. Of the 40 units, 10 each goes to the Court of Appeal and Federal High Court, while 20 goes to the FCT High Court.
Are the judges homeless? In Abuja, the answer is no. The Nigerian judges in Abuja, they have always been allocated their different houses in different parts of Abuja. But in a Thiefnubu's way and Werey Wike's way, they have to build one that will say, this is a gift. Here is a gift to Mr. President after approving 300% salary increase for you. We are also giving you houses, okay? And it's your own for life. Here you get now for the sake of public interest. So they are building 40 different houses, mansions and all that, similar to what he built in Rivers State. For the judges in Rivers. Unfortunately for him, the person who succeeded him in Rivers, because that's his political structure, the one that he is fighting for, that Fubara is going to destroy if they don't kick him out next election. Okay? He has built, you know, they were like, that's how they do. They will allocate land for, or build houses for royal fathers, for judges, and then for some selected individuals in the public, people that will likely say something when they are doing wrong thing. They will be gifted houses. They will be gifted this and gifted that, right? And then you will see the typical Nigerians. How can they allocate land to you for 15 years and you've not developed it? How can you buy a land for 15 years and you have not done anything on it? It is his land. It is my land. If the government says I have cleared all the legal, the legal requirements, it is my land. I can lease it. I can live it. I can build it. So why should any politicians be saying I was driving around? Driving around. It was the same thing he did for this businessman in Abuja. And guess what? He quickly called the media together to change the story. This was how this one started too. Remember this?
After about 6 hours, the buildings, some of which had got to lintel level, and the fans are all pulled down and left in a heap of rubble. The property is owned by one of the foremost private developers in Abuja, Praco Nigeria Limited, led by Linus and Nicholas Ukachukwu. Ukachukwu claims the demolition was done in bad faith.
Wike called for a meeting over the land. We went with our documents. After he see what we have with our lawyer and the other people's other sunrise, which they get part of that land. And Wike said there is nothing on this, that the court should take effect. After going around the land, his normal ways of behavior, he started shouting, how would they take all this land and give to Igbo man?
According to him, all the legal titles to the property had been obtained, including 2 ministerial approvals, the latest from the erstwhile FCT Minister Bello Muhammad.
He went through all due process, including ministerial approval. We have full final title, certificate, and offer.
A certificate of occupancy?
Yes, offer to certificate of occupancy.
Most alarming, according to him, is that there was no order revoking his rights to the property before the demolition took place.
As I'm talking to you now, we are not receiving any documents. All these things, it's only what we saw, the demolition. The title has not been revoked. We are not being served.
Ukachukwu also insists the action of the Minister of the FCT runs contrary to 2 pending court orders restraining any action by the FCT on the plot of land.
2 separate courts issued different court order restraining him from tampering or doing anything in those property. But all of a sudden today, we can move all the caterpillars in Abuja and went and started pulling those properties that we have invested billions into down.
He wants President Thiefnubu to wade into the matter to protect the rights of genuine investors and businessmen.
Calling Mr. President, who I know that has nothing to do with the tribe, to call on the bridge, either he remove this man.
Mister, you have no idea that land grabber versus land grabber, the president is a land grabber, the minister is a land grabber. Their history is very much telling, right? So Werey Wike saw a very big, massive land that they are building estates in Abuja. And he was like, who owns this one? And they say, now I want Mr. Ukachukwu Linus or something. Really? How did he manage to get all of this? Well, he bought it. And he's already bought this like years back. He even has 2 ministerial approval, which means the minister before the last one, and then the last minister before this Werey Wike. So Werey Wike called the media together and said, no, the man only took over the land. It's the way he put it, they said he took the land when the last minister left. That means when Bukwari government ended in May 2023, that was when that man took that land. And usually, he loves to kind of talk to himself. And he always believes what he says, and he wants you to believe what he says too. This is what he told the media about that man and the land.
Of all of them, they came with their lawyers, senior advocates. And I said, look, what is this? Company A presented their own. Company B presented their own view. Company C, Company D, Company E. I said, okay. I'm going to seek for advice from external solicitors. I'm not going to take from inside house because the legal secretariat and land department have been so compromised. So I saw the views of very senior lawyers. 2 of them wrote to me different opinions, but arriving at the same thing. First of all, what happened? This land, this so-called ethnic Jugoist talk about, was allocated when there was no minister. The minister left May 29th, 2023. By June, the land had been allocated. By Director of Lands.
No, but he said he got approvals from the former FCT minister.
If I tell you so many things, it is not as they, you see, these are the things they are clever by half. When we all met, it's okay. Company B, this, don't do anything again. Until we're able to take a final decision. Do you know what happened? These guys, thinking they're too smart, went on, started fencing, and then started allocating the land to people to buy. How did I know? A lady came and said, look, Honorable Minister, I want you to advise me that the place I want to buy land. I said, where are you buying land? He said, so area. I said, hey, no, we're having a problem with the pursuit. Don't. Another time the lady came back. It's a friend of mine, came back. So look, you're telling me, but people are buying buildings. Say what? Now I was going to commission the biggest water park at Sunrise. So I passed, it was the same area. I thought, what is going on? Then I commissioned the water park. And then, do you know that for me to commission that water park, it was a Friday. On a Thursday, this same company called Praco and their allies have gone to court, stopping me from commissioning the water park project. And aligned with the LCT lawyer. You see how fraudulent this case can be? Unfortunately, they didn't get the injunction. I drove from that place, came back, and called the general counsel. Come, who is doing this case for FCT? He says an external lawyer. External lawyer? Call the external lawyer. Get us our file back. How can you go and compromise with a plaintiff against us? I mean, I've never seen people who are so fraudulent in life. What they do here, they sue you, they sue me as MC minister. I'm not aware of the suit.
Because he claimed that there are two subsisting court decisions.
Hold on. Look, you know these guys? They think we're PDP Anambra State. That is their job. They have court judgments in their pocket. These are people, that's how they keep PDP in Anambra State. They can produce court orders, judgments overnight.
Did you see how he's twisting the whole thing? Something that has been in existence before you. You know, that's what they do in Nigeria, right? You will see an investor that will buy massive expanse of land, okay? And maybe to build estates. Then they will begin to build where you can start buying the already built houses, or you can buy land within the area to build your own. Is that not what they do in Nigeria? So this man presented evidence of how he got his land for a long time, years before Werey Wike. But because Werey Wike was interested in that land, so he told them to stop building on it. I want you to stop. They started using the words like, as if to say there were actually conflict over the land. There was no. There's no conflict, no nothing, no. The same way it's been going about in Abuja. Story of Werey Wike in Abuja is so pathetic. Like, I'm not saying that they are right, because it's that same Abuja. You have lands that were gifted to politicians by different governments, senators, ministers, their children. Even the El-Rufai of Kaduna, when he was a minister of the FCT, there were lands that he allocated to himself, his family members, his children, right? But this is a businessman that got tens of acres of land that was meant to be developed into estates. And Werey Wike, when he saw it, he felt like, who is building all these houses here? They said, so company. Really? Tell them to stop building. Why? Just tell them to stop building. We need this land. The government will need this land. But the person had all the papers and everything. So when they heard about that, they quickly went to court so that the court can tell him that, hey, mister, stay away. So Werey Wike developed his own story. Company A, Company B, Company C, Company D, Company E. So I wanted to go and commission a water park in the area. And I said, hey, see, that's how they do in Anambra. They have the courts in their pocket in Anambra. What it concern Anambra and the land you wanted to take from these people? The man categorically said they met with him. You know, the Nigerian way, mister, what do you want us to do? To leave our land alone? I don't want you to do anything. I am taking the land. A lady came to me and said, Minister, please advise me. I want to buy this land. I said, which land? This one. Hey. I said, no. Then he changed the whole story to some people are sabotaging them. The lawyers, how can you be a lawyer of the FCT? And then you are working with the plaintiff. You are, yeah. This is it. This one is before Julius Berger. Oh no. Listen to the man's full story here, because the man is like, man, this is sad. They paid billions of naira for the land. They have all the documents, including the CFO approval. Ministerial approval is to say you don't settle the minister. So the minister before Bello, the last one, probably got settled, paid. When Bello came and wanted to, they also paid him. And they got approval as usual. But Werey Wike doesn't want to be paid like anything. He needed the land. Here is the story. Before this, Julius Berger, please pay attention, okay? Because it is all similar. It is Werey Wike.
What happened yesterday was all of a sudden, our project managers and all the ETCs of them are in the site working. The next thing that we had is that both police, both Navy, both Army, both the civil defense, all of them converge in the site with caterpillars for demolition of the properties.
Now, before this happened, did you receive any notice?
We didn't receive any notice, but 2 weeks ago, they sent the caterpillar and demolished a small portion of the fence. That is only a kind of notice that we received. And when we saw that, on our inquiry, we discovered that the Honorable Minister, Wike, was interested in the property. So we quickly went to the court to report to the court, because already there are 2 different court judgments over that property. And outside the 2 different court judgments, we now went into the court and asked court that this is what is actually happening. In view of that, the court now issued a court order. Then we went to the other part of it, because the lands are in 2 different documents, and also secure another court order stopping that nothing should be done.
So confirm for us again the title you have over this land.
We have offer letters and we have certificate of occupancy.
Now, has there been any dispute over this land between you and any other party?
Yes, originally the land that was given to us is including where the sunrise are now. But all of a sudden, without even revoking of our title, part of it was cut and given to Sunrise, and they started developing that area. But during the time of last year reconciliation, when we have the judgment on the order of mandamus, there is a kind of reconciliation which they have said, okay, part of where the Sunrise are developed already, not where they are also developing, that we should concede it to them and take over the other part of it that have not been developed, and some area where they are about developing. That was what was reached, and in view of that, the whole settlement was done, and all our documents was released back to us. Right. So issue of being in contention does not even arise, because if the land is in contention and a demolition ought to be made, it will be in 2 parties now. Why is it that they didn't demolish the side of the Sunrise? There is nothing that was done in Sunrise area. They were not demolished.
Now, who oversees this settlement which you talked about, and where did it happen?
The former minister, FCT. Yes, Mohammed Bello. He was the one that initiated the meeting. And also the director of lands was also in that meeting. Their legal department was also in that meeting. And everything was done. Settlement done. Then even when Wike came, Wike also had that these people now went back to Wike and be agitating back. And a meeting was called. We show our documents. After seeing our documents and on the meeting, Wike said, no, that we should go and sort it out, being that the matter is also in the court. And we left. All of a sudden, after his visit to the site, where he made the statement that he made, how can this land be given to an Igbo man? The next thing is the demolition without even revoking. But that is not the issue. The main issue is there are 2 court judgments and there is 2 court order. Why would Wike order for the demolition of this property when those court orders are still insisting and the court judgment are still there? None of them was appealed. Nobody has appealed for the judgment of those courts. Nobody has vacated the court orders on this matter. If all these 2 things are not being done, how will you go and start demolition? What kind of banana country that we are into? Where there is no rule of law and obedient to the court orders and judgment, then the anarchy will abound. So I'm still insisting that, seriously speaking, for President Thiefnubu to allow Wike to remain in his cabinet is very, very dangerous to this democracy. Because we even had with authority that he was told that there is court order. Everything. He said they should go ahead and demolish. How can a leader, these are the kind of leaders we have in this country, how can Wike insist that demolition should go on when he was told that there is court judgments and there is court order? Why would he say that the demolition should continue? It's very, very amazing. He ought not to say so.
Now, what is the interest of Sunrise in this particular plot?
Their interest cannot be more than where they are, because already they have nothing. As at the time the portion was given to them, my own title was not being revoked. So if we want, we can even take it over from them. But we say let the peace reign and allow their portion to be. Let them bring the revocation documents that give them a title. Can you give somebody a title when the other one was not revoked? Our documents are not being revoked as I'm talking to. We are not serving any distance. If they did, it's between them. No service that shows that these properties are revoked.
Really sorry that I did my best to get the audio up as possible, but it is the least, the most I could possibly get it up to. Okay. So, yeah. The whole thing is about land grabbing. It is not just because the man is Igbo. There are others too who have their own allegations. Since Werey Wike became the FCT minister, it's about land. Wherever he sees land, and he loves it, he takes it. Because even Thiefnubu acknowledges Werey Wike's love for people's lands. There is no free land in Abuja anymore. Like if you need any land, right, for what do you call it, for maybe government development, then you go and use the government land. There are lands that are like, this one are like government reserved land in Abuja. Here you get, even the Baggy people who owns Abuja, I don't think they have up to 5% of the land in Abuja anymore. The land has been so reallocated, reshared by successive governments in Nigeria. And money has been paid to them. So if you want to take any land, for the sake of public interest, like that water park that is built on this guy's land in Abuja, he said, well, for peace, and all that, yeah, even though there is no revocation, they haven't revoked their land, right? For peace to reign, they just let go. Only for Werey Wike to bring bulldozers to start demolishing the buildings that they've already erected in that place. Werey Wike makes it look like they started building on that land after May 2023. That's why he told the media. And that is not true. So it's no longer taking just some of it. He's taking everything. Without any revocation, you started demolishing people's properties there. And these ones have invested billions of naira. I mean, you know about real estate now. They've invested billions, and that billions was what you saw there going up in dust. It wasn't that. Just reason was like his case may be spoiled because he threw the tribalists in. You are not paying attention, sir. I hope you are going to pay attention. Okay? When the man said, Werey Wike uttered that how did an Igbo man get this land in Abuja? Have you ignored the video I played you earlier? Where Werey Wike brought Anambra into it. That's what they do in Anambra. They have all the cuts in their pockets in Anambra. They can procure any of these fake documents, fake judges in judgment. Wait till bring Anambra to Abuja. If you still don't think, Werey Wike said, how did an Igbo man, how did he get this land in Abuja? How? To him, who sold this land to him? Did they not know that he's an Igbo man? So the same Werey Wike who granted interview to this journalist in his office, why did they bring Anambra into it? So you still don't believe that he did say that, Abi? That means you are not paying attention, and I hope you do pay attention. Okay? So, and the tribal part of it is just, well, just outside it now. We're talking about the documentation that is valid and legal. But for Werey Wike, if you want to take anybody's land, how about you compensate them and say, we are taking this land, or this land shouldn't have been sold. So we need to meet and have a chat, okay? Sorry, this is going to affect your business or your plan and all that. But for the sake of public interest, we want to do this here. And you shouldn't have been given approval for this land. We will pay your money back, and we will compensate you for whatever losses you are going to probably, you know, we need this land for so and so. A reasonable person will probably be like, okay, can you give us another land elsewhere? Or just pay us the compensation for it. But no, that's not what they're doing. Once they take her, they say, go to court. Yeah, go to court. If you go to court, they already have all the judges there waiting to do their bidding. Just in case, for those who didn't hear that part, I'm going to replay this. In fact, hang on, before that, just so you know that this is not about being an Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa or this. There are other group of people who are also protesting of Werey Wike taking their lands in Abuja. These ones are Islamic group. Listen to their own position.
Many properties in Rivers State under the watch of Nelson Wike that was revoked, which are Muslim owned in Rivers State, was not reinstated back to those Muslims. Or 65% of the total land that were revoked in the FCT for not building were owned by Muslims and were owned by Northerners. And we know so many applications have been written to the FCT ministers, so many phone calls have been made for him to reinstate back those lands to those people. And up till now, the issue have not been made public. Wike should come out and tell Nigerians, was there any public hearing on the issue of lands that were revoked by Nelson Wike and the application made in front of him in his office to reinstate back those lands or put those lands for a public purchase? No.
Did you hear those ones? They believe that most of the land that Werey Wike revoked are Muslim people, Muslim land and northerners. That's not an Igbo thing, no. That's from their own perspective, from their own side of, from their own losses. They believe that the victims of Werey Wike, they are Muslims and northerners. So that you will know that this is not about this tribe or that tribe per se. But Werey Wike himself, in that earlier interview I shared, or I think even, the audio is very low. And I'm going to advise us to please just increase it to the highest on your device. Even if you're watching it on TV, increase it to the highest. Don't worry, it won't kind of blow your eardrum, okay? This is the concluding part of that businessman whose land, hundreds of hectares of land, taken by Werey Wike with no shishi. All this billion, the billion invested there, up in dust. Remember?
That shows that these properties are revoked. But even if all these things are revoked, why will you see 2 court orders and 2 judgments and overlook them? Why? If truly these guys are leaders, if Wike is a leader, how can you see a court order and this judgment and you say you're a lawyer and you went ahead and do this? And this is exactly what he did in Port Harcourt. Once you are in disagreement with him, he go and demolish your property, he go and revoke your property. This cannot be done in Abuja. It cannot be done in Abuja. This place, we own it together. Nobody can claim the ownership of Abuja more than others. Even you are part of the owners of Abuja. And we are law-abiding citizens. Tell me any estate developer that is bigger than I and my brother joined together in this Abuja. Then tell me where we have been lawlessness. We follow law. We follow guidelines. We follow rules. The issue of between us and the sun rising. Sun rising have been defeated in the court. We have 2 different judgments over the issue. We have 2 different court orders over the issue. Sun rising was part of that case. FCT minister, including the FCT self, are part of the case. And it is in view of that the former minister called for a meeting and resolved the matter. And all our documents that they had before, or they seized before, was returned back to us. The fresh new offer letter was issued to us. And all the payment that we ought to be paid, which if you calculate then it runs into a lot of money, was paid. So that cannot be as a result of dispute. If it is as a result of dispute, why did they not demolish the one of Sun Rising? That area is also in dispute. It's not only our side, because originally our land covers including Sun Rising. It was verified that this their kind of jungle justice cut part of it and give to Sun Rising without revoking our own title. I know what it means. When the former title are not even revoked, how will you give another one? That is what Mohammed, the past minister, look at and see that it is improper to them to still hold this land. And he knocked up this settlement, and everything was done. They started reissuing all the necessary things that needed to be done, and everything, due process, was completely followed. It was when Wike came that these people now rushed to Wike again, trying to reopen the matter that has closed. Then we went for a meeting. Wike looked at it and said there is no issue here because already there is a court judgment. In view of fact that there is court judgment on it, that he cannot do anything. Until his boys that are fronting for Sun Rising carry him to those sites. He looked at the side and said, that he will not allow this to be. How can an Igbo man take this? Which people is he calling Igbo man? My immediate junior brother that is part of this business is former House of Representatives in Abuja. He represents entire Abuja. He's a well-known businessman. How many estates do we have here? Can you count us? This is not the first time that we are getting lands, even triple of these hectares. So what is this? So that cannot be. It's not issue of a matter of dispute. It's issue that Wike is interested in the land and he wants to use proxy the way they normally do in this country to take the land from the back door. But that's an allegation. No, quote me anywhere. I'm ready to defend whatever that I said. Anything I told you on this, please try to air it. Quote me anywhere, I can defend it. He said it now. If not, how will he say, how can all this land be given to Igbo man? What is the meaning? If it's not, Igbo man is not qualified to get, that means they want to take it. That is the meaning of it.
So, have you commenced action on remedies?
Already, there is very, very simple. The single couple that was damaged over this property will be paid by the government, including Wike. Anyone that we could not collect before the tenure ends, Wike will pay even after the tenure. Because these individuals are supposed to be held responsible, even when they left government. Wike will pay, even if after the government. If we didn't collect all, it's better that he package and make sure everything is paid and this land released back. If not, if anyone that we couldn't collect now, when he come out from the government, he will still give us the balance. He will pay. And we are not going to do anything than to collect our money. But for payment, he will pay. Anyone he couldn't pay now, he will give us the remaining balance. Here is no reverse. He will pay.
Now, your properties have been demolished.
Yes.
Are you going to continue with the development?
We are the court said we are going to. The court said that we should hold on the property, that no one should do anything. But first of all, we are going to go for issue of the tampering and demolition of those property that we inherited. Then it is after that one, then we can now talk about how to move ahead. But no one can take that land from us. No one can take it away from us, because that shows that.
So just a quick reminder of that interview that Werey Wike also granted. That you get to see that a madman is holding a political office far away from his normal terrain, where he's always been moving mad. Both Wike and Thiefnubu, this is a foreign terrain to them. Even though they will do everything to rechange the topography, to change the entire area to whatever they want it to be. But they are not going to be in that same government forever, are they? Now listen to Werey Wike's side, and you tell me, you see that man that you just heard now, this it didn't just happen, no. This was way back in April this year, when Werey Wike started moving mad that way, ignoring court order, unable to revoke their certificate of occupancy, even though they initially tried to take the land in peace from them, all right? But finally was like, you know what, I'm just taking everything. Go and do your worst. Go and report me to whoever you want to report me to. Listen to this interview of Werey Wike again, and you tell me what brought Anambra into this. Here.
Of all of them, they came with their lawyers, senior advocates. And I said, look, what is this? Company A presented their own. Company B presented their own view. Company C, Company D, Company E. I said, okay, I'm going to seek for advice from external solicitors. I'm not going to take from inside house, because the legal secretariat and land department have been so compromised. So I saw the views of very senior lawyers. Two of them wrote to be different opinions, but arriving at the same thing. First of all, what happened? this land, this so-called ethnic Jugoist talk about, was allocated when there was no minister. The minister left May 29th, 2023. By June, the land had been allocated.
By
Director of Lands.
No, but he said he got approvals from the former FCT minister.
If I tell you so many things, it is not as they, you see, these are the things they are clever by half. When we all met, it's okay. Company B, this, don't do anything again. Until we're able to take a final decision. Do you know what happened? These guys, thinking they're too smart, went on, started fencing, and then allocated the land to people to buy. How did I know? A lady came and said, look, Honorable Minister, I want you to advise me. There's a place I want to buy land. I said, where are you buying land? He said, so area. I said, hey, no, we're having a problem with the pursuit. Don't. Another time the lady came back. It's a friend of mine, came back. So look, you're telling me, but people are buying buildings. Say what? Now I was going to commission the biggest water park at Sunrise. So I passed, it was the same area. I thought, what is going on? Then I commissioned the water park. And then, do you know that for me to commission that water park, it was a Friday. On a Thursday, this same company called Praco and their allies have gone to court, stopping me from commissioning the water park project. And aligned with the LCT lawyer. You see how fraudulent these guys can be? Unfortunately, they didn't get the injunction. I drove from that place, came back, and called the general counsel. Come, who is doing this case for FCT? He says an external lawyer. External lawyer? Call the external lawyer. Get us our file back. How can you go and compromise with a plaintiff against us? I mean, I've never seen people who are so fraudulent in life. What they do here, they sue you, they sue me as FC minister. I'm not aware of the suit.
Because he claimed that there are two subsisting court decisions.
Hold on. Look, you know these guys? They think we're PDP Anambra State. That is their job. They have court judgments in their pocket. These are people, that's how they keep PDP in Anambra State. They can produce court orders, judgments overnight. Of all of them. They came with their law.
What brought Anambra into it? Because Anambra is in the eastern part of Nigeria. And if you are the type who believes that the Igbos just want to take over everything, they want to dominate everybody, Wike is talking to you. Yeah. So that you too can say, yeah, it's true. That's what these Igbo people, they do. That's what they go, they say they are a developer. Meanwhile, they just want to take over everywhere. They paid money. And the people in charge selling the land, approving it and the rest, collected the money, issued them documents. So another person came and felt like he needed the land. He didn't even tell everyone what he wants to use the land for. He just felt like, no, we need the land. How can I need land? Oh my God. Sorry about that. I just spilled my tea there. Sorry. How can an Igbo man come in and hold this whole thing? Yeah, we are wondering too, Honorable Minister. We are surprised that an Igbo man could get all of this. Now, so these Igbo people, they do. Take it from them. Let them go back to Anambra. go and buy your land from Anambra. If to say, can they sell the same land to Yoruba man in Anambra? Can they sell a land to Hausa man in Igbo land? Collect it. That's what Nigeria is. That's why we're really care to bring in Anambra into it. But what would it be the excuse? The excuse for the ones of the Julius Berger is that where did this land? Yeah. This is for the Julius Berger. This one is just a few days ago.
When we were looking for where we get such a land to build, and I was driving around looking for empty land, and I got here, I saw this big land. I saw the big post, Julius Berger. So I didn't talk. I called the director of lands. Who owns that land? They said Julius Berger. When was it allocated? They said about 15, 20 years ago. 15, 20 years ago, nothing has been done. I didn't bother. So I invited the MD Julius Berger to come. He came and we had dinner. I didn't talk about the land. So the next day, he was in the office and he saw the revocation letter as a matter of public interest. So he called me. But I had dinner with you. I said, yes, we had dinner. We didn't discuss about land. But the point is that what we're doing is that how would government allocate land for more than 20 years for organizations to develop, and they're not able to develop it? I thank God they did not develop it, and now we're able to have it. If not, you wouldn't have had this land for us to think about constructing of this. When we're looking for
judges, that is the kind of people in charge of decision making in Nigeria. Thank God they did not develop it. Because if not, how can we now have land to build judges' quarters, judges' houses? So what development is judges' house or houses will bring to Nigeria? What? Can you tell me what value is building houses for judges who had to Nigeria when you take land that were duly paid for, documented from businessmen or businesses, organizations? What value do you think houses for judges who had to Nigeria in this time, in this day and time? Nigeria to finish. And it is a country where they are looking for investors. All right? And in this day and time, where everything is online, the world is watching. So when Thiefnubu and his gang, when they are done with Nigeria, now go they beg, make them break up this contraption. El Rufai's son, well, I mean, is a chairman of a committee. I think the committee on the finance or something, I don't know. So he had an encounter with Dobi Oduduwa Emefiole in the House of Representatives this past week as well. And to his face, he had this on record.
Mr. Governor, under your one-year stewardship, the CBN has implemented a series of groundbreaking measures aimed at enhancing market transparency, improving financial stability, fostering a more secure investment environment, and shifting towards a market-driven exchange rate regime to restore confidence and stabilize the economy. However, while your intentions have been very clear, the reality we face continues to paint a bleak picture. Nigeria's economic situation continues to deteriorate, and I believe we are all collectively responsible for this, and we must do something collectively. As key regulators, your institution, the CBN, bears a significant part of that responsibility, as I stated. We are all aware of the challenges, so I will not reiterate them for too long. But I feel compelled to emphasize a few key points. Recently, the monetary policy rate was rated a record high 27.25%. Yet inflation has stubbornly remained at an alarming rate of 27%, one of the highest in nearly 2 decades. The cost of borrowing has skyrocketed, making credit inaccessible for most Nigerians and businesses, further stifling economic growth. There appears to be no balance between monetary tightening and growth stimulation. On exchange rates, I must commend the CBN on the unification of the foreign exchange market, enhancing liquidity and reducing market distortions, clearing a $7 billion backlog of valid forex, reducing forex volatility, and increasing our external reserves significantly. I sincerely commend you for all of this, Mr. Governor and your team, and this is on the record. Commendations. Yet, the unpalatable reality, the Naira has depreciated to around 1,500 Naira to the US dollar. For a country that relies on imports, this exchange rate crisis is not just an inconvenience, it is devastating.
Like father, like son. In one breath, he's talking about the increase in foreign reserve of Nigeria, and then appreciating Kadobi for stabilizing the exchange rate market. Then in another breath, in the same place, all right, in another breath, he's talking about the depreciated the Naira, right? The economic downturn and all of that. So there is more, or probably I'll bring it more later anyway. But the point there is this. You are living in what is called voodoo economy. Voodoo economy is the one that, on the one hand, they will make you think there's some progress, but you can't see it now. Okay? We are suffering. We are like really, really struggling. Yeah, we know. But the thing here is this. Your struggle and your suffering could have been more. All right? If not because of our moves. If not because of what we are doing. So that is why you can't see the progress. But there is progress. You say, what are you talking about? Say, well, give it time. Say, what time? Say, oh, you are angry. You are angry. You are just enemy of Nigeria. You are enemy of this government. So there's nothing we do that you understand. But don't worry. Give it time. In another 10 years, you are going to appreciate us. When we are all dead. See, I told you, I said you are angry. That's why you are angry. They are cooking the book to tell you that your situation is better. Yeah, things are tough. We know. Do you know how much money that we have spent to clear the backlog? The Werey mentioned $7 billion. Thiefnubu did not pay any $7 billion to clear any backlog of forex backlog of all this airline. Oh, that's a lie that they continue to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. It's a lie. They never paid anything like that. You know, I don't know how you feel when somebody lies to you, Sha, but it makes me kind of angry when people lie to me or someone lied to me and continue to lie to me. You know, there's a difference between you being lied to and you are not really, probably you're not aware. I mean, you are already aware that they are lying to you. The liar continue to repeat the lie. And you're like, are you mad? This is not true. I say, no, let me tell you, listen. They lie, they repeat the lie. I'm like, that's what you just said. I said it's a lie. You're repeating it. Listen. Let me explain it to you. They lie again. They repeat the lie. And you're like, God damn it. It kind of makes me so kind of really, really mad. You know, that one that you feel like I want to kind of like
package 500 or 5,000 like this and just launch it into your cheekbone like that and say, I take this 500, take another 500. Give them five.
They told you that the foreign reserve of Nigeria is now 37 billion, which means Thiefnubu has added about $4 billion to the foreign reserve. And then we asked them, where did you make that money from? Where? At least you must make the money from somewhere. You don't just manufacture the money, do you? No, you don't. You just have to make it from somewhere. They depleted the foreign reserve, then cooked the book. If you ask them that, how much, they will say Nigeria has increased the crude oil production. Yeah, the Nigerian crude oil production has increased now to what? To 1.35 million per day. Oh, that's good. Can you tell us how much you kind of make from the same crude oil sale? Can you tell us how much you're making daily? No, don't ask that kind of question. Okay, that kind of question is, are you mad? We know how much is the barrel of crude oil, right? If Nigeria is Nigeria is producing 1.35 million barrel of crude oil every day, we can be able to do the math and say, okay, this must be how much you are making. So where is the money? Where is that money? Show us the money. Because it's a lie. It's so unfortunate, though. But they said Thiefnubu is planning to reshuffle his cabinet this week. For those who have been waiting, they believe that the problem is the cabinet, not that the criminals who have no real agenda than to impoverish you from generation to generation. Here is Bulaba, Dani Bulaba, that former Atiku spokesperson that is now trying to replace Akuri Nigalailai. Bulaba.
In this scenario, or in this real case scenario, I stand with the Department of State Services. And I must say that with the current leadership of the Department of State Services, we are seeing a shift from the status quo of having to bully anybody or organization that tend to poke in their eyes. You know, what Serap is doing, like every other human rights group, most often than not, they do is that they try to bait the law enforcement into coming for them. So they can then cry out to the world and say they are being persecuted. And you know that most of these civil society organizations...
That's a gross simplification of what is clearly evident to a lot of people, that Nigerian authorities, particularly Nigerian security authorities, have had a history of systematically clamping down on civil society and to a large extent journalists as well. I mean, that's a known fact.
It's not a known fact, it's your opinion.
No,
because
it's not
I have
opinion,
a counter.
It's a fact.
Okay, so let me tell you something about the Serap, for example. The claim by Serap has not been substantiated by any of the civil society. That's number one. Number two, the freedoms that we enjoy from the Constitution.
I don't know what you mean by the claim. You came to their office. Why would well, Amnesty International has come out in support of them.
That what? They said if it is true.
No. That's not what they said.
What did Amnesty say? I'll be glad if you can quote that.
I read their clear note on their website.
And what's the position?
They made it absolutely clear that, first of all, the move by the DSS to go to their office, I mean, that's an intimidating move. It doesn't matter whether you go there with guns or whether the fact that you are the DSS and you have a history behind you, and you are a the secret police of Nigeria, you enter somebody's office, whether there are 2 operatives or 20 operatives. I mean, you could have written them a letter. If you were simply there to invite them to come over and talk to you, write them a letter, they'll honor the letter.
So permit me to respond.
So it is intimidating when that's why they use the word invade our offices.
Let me tell you, in this country, we have found suits that are filed against government functionaries and institutions in which the individuals secure judgment against government in large sums of money. We run democracy. There are courts to not only protect your right, but to enforce it. If you believe that the law enforcement, not just DSS, anyone, unlawfully invade your territory and carries out an unlawful operation, I mean, you can always go to court. But the case in point is they peddle false allegation in the eyes of the Department of State Services. And my point is, in the past,
what is the false allegation?
About what they claim the DSS did.
Well, they said the DSS. I mean, you're a lawyer,
right?
You know that in a court of law, you can use the one of the things that is used by an alleged victim is a sense that you're under attack, you're under siege. That's what duress is about.
Right.
You see what I mean? So if somebody is
does the law say
if I'm
about
in my office and I'm a legitimate citizen sitting in my office and the DSS suddenly turns up at my office to say to me, without warning, without anything to say, we've come to get you to come and, speak to us and answer to whatever it is we want to answer to you. Don't you think that's intimidating?
So, no. Let me tell you the difference. So, every law enforcement, you must look at them and juxtapose their functions and operations and rank it in pari passu with the enabling law establishing them. This is a secret service. It's an intelligence organization. The modus operandi of an intelligence organization is different from a law enforcement that is not intelligence driven.
Yeah, but they said they came to invite them to come and speak to them. Why didn't they just write to them?
No, so this is the point I'm saying. I am saying that DSS took them to court rather than arresting and locking the individuals is a wordy conversation, because the leadership of the Department of Services is departing from what would have been the norm, that they will go and intimidate you.
Right.
He is going to court. So your own is to defend that fact. But I am telling you as a fact that it is also in the same way you talk about law enforcement having history. Also, some of these non-governmental organizations have nuisance.
Justifying the state's brutality against suspected opposition. DSS, Dokpemu Stupid Service, invaded a civil society organization's office in a Gestapo style, and then they left. When the organization raised alarm that is this not democracy anymore, then the Dokpemu Stupid Service said they only went there to invite them for a talk. And Bulaba Dani was on TV to defend that. He is also a lawyer, by the way, a Nigerian lawyer who has been doing the pro bono work as a spokesperson for Thiefnubu. He has been the guy who said Thiefnubu's appointees, they have not been living up to expectation. That they are not telling Nigerians the achievement of Thiefnubu. That is why a lot of you today are criticizing Thiefnubu, because Thiefnubu's appointees, ministers, media guys, they are not doing their job of trying to spin it and tell you that Thiefnubu is the best thing that has happened to you since the invention of sliced bread. He is also a guy who said he's very confident that Thiefnubu will kind of reshuffle his cabinet soon. Just like Reno Mokri. They have been doing what you can call freelance, free job, free whitewashing, image whitewashing, or image laundering for Thiefnubu. They have been attacking and abusing everybody that they considered as a critic of Thiefnubu. The only thing left is that they have not been officially engaged. That's the only thing left. And a lot of people believe that they should hire them all. Because Bekunde Onofunuga, Ezibida, 75-year-old Facebook special advisor to Thiefnubu. That one is a born bigot that would rather spread bigotry in a never seen before way than really launder the image of Thiefnubu. But listen, what is really there to tell you about Thiefnubu than what they are already showing you? What? So the likes of Bulaba, Dani, they just want to be the Joseph Goebbels of Thiefnubu, the ones that will tell you white is black and black is red, and they don't care about their tomorrow or whatever it is. There's nothing about tomorrow. Remember Laya Mohammed, an old man that became so famous for lying that he said his own grandson asked him one day, Grandpa, why are they calling you Laya Mohammed? He said it during his own screening. And he went on to lie and lie and lie. Where is he today? So these guys don't care. It is Nigeria, so nobody really cares. Come on, chop your money, chop whatever you can chop, and walk away. People will soon forget about you anyway. But the only thing is that you must kind of be somebody who no get shame. I'm talking about you have to be in the category of people will say you cannot shame the shameless. Where is Femi Oponu Adeshina today? It was everywhere, all over our faces. Remember, it was in our faces all the time at the time. For Bokuari, he called you complaining about Bokuari wailing wailer. Those bunch of ass lickers, where are they today? He got something for himself. He got his daughter a university education in America for being a PA, a columnist. You know that the columnists in Nigeria, those who write columns in your newspapers in Nigeria, they are not different. They have been replaced by those who are now called the social media influencers today. Those ones that will always spin it on social media. The ones that will kind of tell you that everything is going to be all right. You read them, there are many on social media today. Back then, there was no social media. Femi Oponu Adeshina and his likes, they had their readers at the back of Sun newspapers. This other one, Bekunde Onofunuga, Ezibida, is a very regular columnist too in the news. I've been at Newsweek or what's that magazine called back then, and The Nation. There is another one, the one that wrote something about Obi, and he called it Obituary. Sam Omaseye. There are many, many like that. Bunch of ass lickers, crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all risers. For social media, sort of demystified a lot of them. That only few of them got political appointments, and they went on to show you their true colors. So I hope they will call this guy who claimed to be a lawyer, and nobody can tell which case he has handled in his life. Even the guy that became a lawyer just about last week, he has cases listed to his name. His name is Cash TV's Deji Adeyanju. You know Cash TV's human rights is now a human rights Cash TV's Deji Adeyanju. In the last, this one just became a lawyer last night. He don't get cases. Yeah, he has cases that you can say, okay, Deji. This one, Bulaba, a political jobber, He has a gown that he loves to put on, like the sandpaper. Femi Falana, senior advocate of nuisance. Just like that. Even senior advocate of nuisance has so many cases to his name. This Bulaba has no single case to his name. Or do you know any case to his name? He is a political jobber, wanted to work for Atifku, and it didn't work out. He's now doing a free pro bono job, spokesperson for the druggie, Kolu. A spin doctor. He's not even smart. Yeah? Guru. He's not even smart. When you hold on very much, it will turn out to fight. I hope Kolu reshuffles his cabinet too, and find something for this guy, so that I can see how Onofunuga will manage him. Maybe they made them top him up, put Renomokri. Nigeria, I mean, come on, man, honestly. It's a very funny place, okay? So the presidential panel that said that Bobrisky actually slept in prison. I have seen their faces now. I'll show you their faces. It's just that we don't know why they arrested him at the border. Okay? Because if he's done nothing wrong, why is he being held right now and locked up? Why is Bobrisky being held? So this guy said that Bobrisky is a woman, and they have evidence to that. So in their own words, please listen.
Situations when Bobrisky was brought here, when we were in charge.
My name is MB Anogwan, Deputy Controller of Corrections, and the officer in charge medium at the time Bobrisky was brought here. On the 12th of April 2024, Bobrisky was brought here about 10:30 p.m. So as about that time, we cannot do the necessary documentations. So knowing his history as to whether he is a male or female, we decided to take a proactive action and to be security conscious. So I directed that he be given a single cell in the P ward, which is a privileged cell. So, and he was taken to P ward with 2 here, where we are. Now the next day, which was the 13th when we did the admission, he was taken to the medical. The doctor, Dr. Ifama Aloba, and the matron examined him and came out to say that he has a male organ. And
that aside, that I'm the one that's taking maximum.
Thank you, sir. I want you to tell us his condition when he was here, how he fared according to how the rules of keeping inmates here safely should be observed.
Thank you, sir. My name is Adeyemi Olubenga, ASC Gwa. That particular day, we brought Bobrisky to this place. Many people did not know him before, but according to our job, we need to do the research to confirm the situation of him, maybe it's a male or female. And then as people are hearing the news that it's a female, it's a male, that's why for the safety of him, that's why he was brought to this particular
situation when
you get. So that's the presidential panel talking to the prison guys who handled Bobrisky. Story long, sha. And one of the things that is more surprising to a lot of people is the fact that when Bobrisky came out of prison, he was looking plump, fresh, clean. He was clean under this, okay? This one is like a rough one. But do you remember Farouk Lawan? That guy that took bribe, $3 million bribe from Otedola on top of fuel subsidy scam. Somebody did go to jail for fuel subsidy scam, but it wasn't the oil marketers. Otedola is still being rated as one of the richest people in Nigeria now. A friend of Dangote. The other one that owns the Aiding Oil, Julius Berger of Ogun State, is a governor in Ogun State, second-time governor in Ogun State now. But a man that collected bribe from Otedola to bury the case of the House of Representatives investigating the fuel subsidy under Jonathan at the time. He was convicted, sentenced to 5 years in prison. Take a look at this picture. This was him before and after. Now, this one, I am convinced that this guy actually went to jail. 5 years. Babasi Farouk, this guy was one of those that, you know, when you say the superstars of Fourth Republic. Is that what you call this republic now? Fourth Republic, Abi? When Obasanjo is from Kano. He was one of those sharp mind, young lawmakers, you know. Then he just fell by the roadside. He collected bribe. He demanded for $3 million. Otedola gave him about $1 million cash like that. He was putting the money in his heart. He was putting the money in his babariga and the rest of that. So Otedola set him up. And that was what a judge used in sentencing him. 5 years ago, Farouk Lawan was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. Abasidi before and after. I mean, if you don't believe that I went to jail, well, me, I believe. Oh. You see, the guy grew old, sharp. Look at his face. So he was released today. Because you know, if you go Nigeria prison, come back, come out and begin the, even if they put you for VIP. Yeah, even if they put you in VIP. This guy went to prison, to Kuje prison. And he was released today. Baba, no be makeup, oh. In case if some of you are thinking maybe he just put on a makeup. This one no be makeup, oh. And that's what people are saying that you know if you go Nigeria prison, Baba Gbagbe Werey. You know if you go Nigeria prison, when you come back, make we know that you just come back to prison. Gbagbe, even if you did VIP. Some of you will say, oh, maybe you didn't go prison. Baba, this is your evidence. On the left is Farouk Lawan before prison. On the right is Farouk Lawan after prison. He was a Federal House of Representatives member, a lawmaker. So we just want to know if Bobrisky did go to prison. I'm not saying Bobrisky should come back and begin to look like an old woman, an old man. No. But people questioning that, if he went or not, they just need an answer. And if you think it's a distraction, you may be right. It is a worthy distraction. Put it that way. That reminds me of this guy. 17 months ago. Do you know where this guy is right now?
Public service announcement. Today is the last day that Buhari is our president. Good. We survive. Aside the fact that today we have to do special Thanksgiving. We still have to pray. Hey! When Jonathan became our president, we were missing Yaradua. When Buhari became president, we were missing Jonathan. God, I use God and beg you. Please.
Use God to beg God.
Please. Don't let us miss Buhari. Please, I beg.
Use God to beg God.
God, I use God to beg you. May we not miss Buhari, please. Please, I beg. Please.
If you go miss Buhari,
Our market. May this Thiefnubu's government favor me and my family. I don't hear him again. I don't know. Do you see here that? May this government favor me and my family. I don't hear him again. Now what they are saying is that are you trying to mock us? Are you happy that people are going through this and that? Instead of all of us to come together and face this our leaders, say let us come together and face this our leaders. 8 years. Somebody said that they just discovered that people who are saying Thiefnubu will use 8 years, there's nothing anybody can do. That the people are using reverse psychology. Oshe, Mr. Researcher, if we all come together, we can get rid of Thiefnubu in 2027. High right. That's what we say in Scotland. We say high right, high right. It will like say your malaria don't come to madness. You know what they call malaria? It's in the brain, because that's what it will look like. All these people that are saying that Thiefnubu cannot be removed, they are using reverse psychology on you. If all of us come together, we can remove it. If we have a better candidate, if all opposition comes, high right, reverse psychology. Worry sideline psychology. Because you see, the lulu that some of you don't know is this. It is not reverse psychology. It is the reality. If you want Thiefnubu gone for real, you will start with a nationwide occupy Nigeria with just 3 demands. 3 is okay. I'll give you the idea. All of una we believe say you feel come together, remove Thiefnubu by elections. Una go first come outside first. Millions of you will now demand for an end to this fake constitution. They have to burn that one in public like this. Say, what thing that they burn? They say a Nigerian constitution, we have burn them. And you will demand for a new one. A new one that comes with an electoral reform. Electoral reform that will then set the standard of how you want your election to be conducted. Abi? If anybody tells you, say, go and get a PVC, go and get so you think they will kind of give you the voter's card to come and remove Thiefnubu like that. Story because you are what? Israeli Egypt. So that you're mad. You just don't know that yet. Now they waste your time telling yourselves that if all of us, they cannot rig this election. If they are rigging, what you go do? What you go do? What? We will this we don't say we have the record of all of our mouth. Nothing you will do, nothing. It's already rigged even before they choose the date for your election. Just know that. It's not a reverse psychology. It is not. So if you really genuinely want to challenge Thiefnubu, you will start with that fraudulent constitution, right? In it will also destroy, dismantle the entire establishment as you see it today. The judiciary, the police, the military, the INEC, the this, the that. That will be totally dismantled. But anything apart from that, Emma Delulu Arai. It is not reverse psychology, it is in reality. It will never have its own whatever to what will kind of take power away from him, even if he's on a sick bed.
He doesn't need, you see, Thiefnubu doesn't need your vote. He never became your presidiot because of your vote, or whether you voted or you didn't. That's not how Thiefnubu became your presidiot. It is by the state capture, institutional capture, and all this capture that we end up having to endorse him. They don't need your votes. Are you that dumb enough to know that now? 91 million people registered to vote. I've been at 97 million. 95 million voters card shared. Election came. All of una pata for Thiefnubu, for Atifku, for Obio, for Kwakwan Sopo, all of una vote no reach 24 million. And Thiefnubu is your president today. What happened to the remaining 70 million registered voters? Where are they? What happened to them? You won't go bring them? Oh yeah, go bring them out. With them come. Ask yourself now, where is the remaining 70 million voters? If all these 70 million can so who go bring the 70 million out? Me, you. They don't need your vote. No. They just need you to, they just need the pictures and videos of some of you dunderhead lining up and queuing up under the sun, under the rain. Pretending that you are participating in it. But that's all they need. That's all that is needed. Once they have the images and all of that, your result will be out. Whether on a burn ballot paper or on a destroy ballot boxes, so it no matter, they will announce results. If you know, agree, go to court. And nobody the judges, they don't build houses for now. Collecting people's lands to build houses for them. Are those not the judges that will now tell you that? I mean, come on, use your common sense now. Evidence, Yapa. Thiefnubu's forgery. Thiefnubu's criminal past. All the things. Thiefnubu not winning in the FCT. All this evidence were presented. What happened? The judges said the evidence were not presented properly. And when they were reading their judgment, they said, here you want us to be the one to now help you present evidence, that there was no single evidence against Thiefnubu. That was the judgment of the court now. Court said, notice, we they see boxes, people they carry boxes. Enter court. Evidence, exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit Y, exhibit Z, exhibit YA, exhibit Y12, exhibit Z28C. We have all of it. So they say, they don't finish Thiefnubu. They went as far as going to America to get evidence against Thiefnubu. But guess what? The Supreme Court says the evidence were not presented in time. And because they were not presented in time, that means no evidence was presented. They now turn around to say, they intimidate us. Why are you intimidating us online? Nobody can intimidate us. Intimidate you, okay? My dear Lord Justice, Lord, my Lord. So una get short memory. A lot of you, like your parents, una get short memories. That's why Stockholm syndrome is a serious pandemic in Nigeria. Now, some of you are telling yourselves, anybody that tells you that Thiefnubu cannot be removed is using a reverse psychology on you. To deceive our in-law. Last night, Obi and Kwakwan Sop, they met in Kano. They threw banters and all of that. And in fact, Kwakwan Sop was asking Obi, where is your private jet? Because we don't want your people to see you like, say, no, I don't have any private jet. Say, hey, because we don't want them to now see you and start saying that you are now like us. So anyway, come. We have some people we sent to India and then Sudan for masters. They are arriving today. Let's go and welcome them on the tarmac. Obi and Kwakwan Sop yesterday evening in Kano. They just told me that you are around.
So I started to go there. So, you know, see the government.
Yeah, it's good.
That day we finished. I finished this flight to go back to Lagos.
Oh, this flight, that just arrived.
Go back to Lagos.
Why is our the private one? Why are you keeping it? Don't allow them to look at you like us.
No, I'm always
you're like the masses.
I'm always with the masses. Yes, thank you very much. I had the coming to receive the and the commissioner you're the one who sponsored me. So it's your own product. So it's advertising it. And so when we say it's working, this guy was on 7:30. And then when they put it there, we didn't know they were not there, but it's not here, they're here.
We still have my hair. Yeah, that's the question.
Passenger ne suke saukowa. Yes, Excellency, let's just wait. Excellency is coming inside the plane right now. Wait, yes. Okay. It is.
Anyway, that was just them at the Kano Airport tarmac. And away from there, somebody was talking about the mega shitty Lagos. Like, listen, guys, how do you feel every time people tells you that Lagos is mega city? But when it comes to the internal roads in Lagos, you do not have any real road. Like, you get to some places in Lagos and you will not believe that this is Lagos. Or maybe, yeah, you kind of know it's Lagos anyway. Right? How do you feel on social media when people like the APC, Egbe, want to use Lagos as a yardstick of a developed place? And then, you know, internally, you're like all living in hell hole. How do you normally feel? It's a rhetorical question, though. Here you get. Because the truth of the matter is that there is no one or there is no group of people that is more pretentious than the people who live in Lagos. We are from Lagos. I say, yeah. You need to come to Lagos. Let's take you around. Let me show you around. Show me where in Lagos. Abule Egba, Okoko Maiko, Ajangbadi, Alagbado, what's the other one there? Omole, where else again? Where's that one that is next to that beggar? When you are going to Ikeja and you're like, want to pass through the back, not passing through the, what is it called? That's Alausa, not Alausa, where you pass to the Ogba, all those areas. These are like around the state capital. Hell of a place. Oh, Naja still kind of love to make yourself feel like, we are from Lagos, Sawati, Lagos State. Somebody sent in this clip, right? And they said somewhere in Ogba. I'm like, this one, somebody will tell you now, this one is still beautiful. Come to Badagry. Come to Okoko. I said, why should I come to Okoko? You want make a share in your suffering? So, this one is better. You need to come to all of these places are in Lagos. What happened to this trillion of naira IGR? Why can't they spend the money to build your roads, for God's sake? It's been 25 years of democracy. Government cannot do everything. Really?
This is not a war zone. This is Lagos. Ogunisi Road, Slokijai Road in Ogba, leading to Ogba bus stop. It's not a war zone. It's Lagos. This is area. This is.
So please, if you are in Lagos, you can help me send some of these videos of your own area and tell me how beautiful it is. I'll show the world. Okay? I'll show the Apapa, Lekki, Aja, Badore, Shomolu, Mushin. Let's show the world the beautiful Lagos. I know. Calm down. I am from Ogun State, and I know they brag, say we have this or that. If you go to Ogun State, you will think we just finished a 18-year war. You go to say they just finished a civil war in Ogun State. So please, and I won't come here and say we are from Ogun. We have, or your people currently they are like bragging about Solo Makinde Ibadan. That Solo Makinde Ibadan has rehabilitated so many roads. He has constructed new ones, and they all have a way of including in Ogun State too, they have a way of doing the Shagbelujuyoyo road, okay? So that anybody who is visiting the place, you are not living there or you just come in, you say, oh man, look at this nice. They say, they just built it. It's a new road. We have been enjoying our governor. You see, it's a very, very beautiful. Say, okay. Well, ask those who are actually living there. And they will tell you and say, oh man, forget it, man. It's unfortunate, okay? So the point is that we wish they could spend the money they are collecting from you on improving your infrastructure. It will improve your lives, honestly. It's not a war zone and all that, but I mean, come on. Trillions of naira. Where is the money? What are they using the money for? You are the most indebted state in Nigeria. You are the richest state in Nigeria. You are also the most indebted state in Nigeria. But where is the money? Where is the development? Where exactly? All of them have become so used to all those terrible, terrible, terrible places that you kind of get offended when anyone tries to show you that you deserve better. I mean, you deserve better. This is not life. So when you look at it, you say, unfortunately, right? So in Rivers State, some people are pushing back on Werey Wike's legacies.
And this legacy of Werey Wike is legacy of a land grabbing. If two people they fight over a place, Werey Wike will come to settle it. It will take the land from you. Recently, I think he was going to take this market from them, but since they do not want to have anything to do with Werey Wike anymore in River States, table don't turn. This guy from Obiakpo local government area decided to return this market to the people, because they heard that Werey Wike was planning that he was going to bring in his guys to deal with people who have been trying to take over or take back this market from him. Waiting won't take market too, until this guy moved there and said, if they're born and well, they're born you well with a Wike. Come and change what we have just done here.
My name is Judicial. The capacity chairman. By the grace of God, I am the chairman of the Apollo Club. For power. Yes. Here is Gingery, he's the vice chairman of non-living Rivers. So please, while we are here this morning, is first of all to reassure all of you that in the end this market will start functioning. Amen. And that this land does not belong to one individual. This land belongs to the Igbo people. So on that note, can you hear me? Yeah. On that note, we have officially ordered that this market should be open. Do not be afraid of any man who claims he wants to own everywhere. This land belongs to the people, and the gods of the land is happy that the owners of the land should use their land for their business. We are going to be to the market leaders by Tuesday in the local government. Unfortunately, a way to support those who are doing business so that this market. Listen. On Tuesday, that we'll discuss. Or officially, we're available this place to the community. Thank you. As a local government.
So it's all about land. And since power is transient, I'll keep reminding you all, okay, that the only lifeline that Werey Wike has in Nigeria today is Thiefnubu's benevolent grace. If that should be taken away from him, Werey Wike will be finished. It will not only become irrelevant, it would have to kind of leave Nigeria. It will run away. And this is something that some of his supporters are not seeing. To them, Werey Wike is a strong, powerful politician. He's done for. The only grace he currently has is that of the druggy Thiefnubu. Somebody said, Thiefnubu is sick. He can't even finish 4 years. Baba, see your doctor. You may be the one that is sick. Here. If you have not learned anything from that of Bokwari, maybe this time of Thiefnubu, you will learn something. If anybody has any means of ending this calamity, team together and end it. If you're banking on is sick, is this, or some vision tells you it will be overthrown, and all these other things that you are imagining, I will ask you to see your own doctor. You may need it, okay? Superstition, projection and other stuff won't save anybody. In reality, evil people actually tend to live long. I have seen it happen. Bokwari, a dead man, sort of a dead, we call him, a lifeless mannequin. They had to kind of take organs from every innocent people that they could take their organs, ship them to the UK. So he said it himself. They almost changed everything inside him. Ifuo, Fukuo, Edo, Iweo, Abodio, Shaki, everything inside him. They almost changed everything just to kind of keep him here and continue to pop him on. Here you get Thiefnubu, due to long abuse of drug use. Okay, he has gotten for himself something that even if he's totally demented, unsure where he is anymore, the corrupt system in Nigeria will keep popping him on. So if you're hanging on to is a sick, is this and that and all that stuff, you may be the one that needs to see your doctor. Okay, for this shaggy, as it is currently programmed, right? It will last longer than what you can possibly imagine if you are having that kind of mindset. That's my own view. Evil people know they die easily like that. Yakubu go lost. Yakubu Muhammad. No, what's that guy's name again? The INEC guy, Mr. Yakubu. What is his name again? I can't remember. Is that Muhammad Yakubu? Abi Yakubu Muhammad? I don't even forget his name. These evil people. Even the Babangida, with all his own evil, okay, is still here, crippled, partially, and at the same time, temporarily have been partially retarded as well. They know they die like that in that evil contraption. If people want to save themselves, they are not going to bank on superstition, prophecy, or projection. It is either you stand up right and say, enough, we've had enough. And you just learn how to endure for whatever how long this is going to last. Evil people know they just quiet like that. Oh, you get that? And if you think quiet, remember you have a shitty man. And that one, if you ask those who were Christians in Borno State, when shitty man was their governor, you go no say, devil, is a very nice man. Reading his history, is a very nice person than these criminals you have in Barbariga and others in Nigeria. So if you are not willing to really stand up to them, and you are banking on a superstitious projection and all of that, my hand no deal. So ladies and gentlemen, I am going to draw the curtain here. I'll go see if I can get ready for later this evening. But if you miss Mayegun's Diary Political last night, I have a replay that is coming up in the next 5 minutes on YouTube. You can watch it. Or else, like this broadcast, share it, and join me later tonight, if you can. Good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Mayegun Diary political. Mayegun Diary ayé bí nọ́mbà 1. Godfather àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
máyégún dáyàrí náà ibi nàmbà wá.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé. máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
jíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú.
máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
máyégún ti dé.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.